messages, comment threads, spam, and remarks you see in this book are real for better or worse. I did not fabricate them, nor did I incite them by specifically asking for feedback on any post, essay, or book. The subject titles, however, are all mine. Names that are bleeped out have been redacted for privacy and safety purposes. All positive messages have been shared with full permission by the author. Finally, it is worth mentioning that I am not the first or last woman to receive unkind messages online. As a cisgendered white woman, I am merely the tip of an iceberg that launches straight down into a deep and ugly sea. My hope is that by sharing these pieces, we continue to hold on to the truths that sustain us. And when we do encounter the inevitable noise, we tune our ears to hear the song. Women in the White House. Good morning, Kate. I have seen your posts on hoping for female leadership in the next White House, and I'm concerned that gender is now your only criteria. I'm not against women in leadership positions, however, just any woman. We need to look for women who represent our American values, women who love both God and this country. Women who respect the traditional family structure as a wife and mother while working to keep it safe. Women who will commit to pray for those suffering from poverty and illness instead of just talking about them. Women who respect limits and boundaries in their fields without always having to be the know-it-all. The persecution women claim today is mostly fantasy. Men want what is best for women. More importantly, God wants what's best for women, which is why He will have a hand in this next election. Who better to lead us than God's own chosen one? I wish you the best as we move into the coming days. I have seen women love this country while suffering from its persecution. Who better to lead us into the coming days? Why Americans Respect Conservative Women, from Steve Bannon to the New York Times. There are some unintended consequences of the women's liberation movement. That, in fact, the women that would lead this country would be pro-family. They would have husbands. They would love their children. They wouldn't be a bunch of dykes that came from the Seven Sisters schools up in New England. That drives the left insane. And that's why they hate these women. A consequence of the women's liberation movement. Men that hate women. When Chad is a dad. I think it's funny how much you hate men and then go ahead and have this husband like he doesn't apply. Not buying your book, but if I was, I would get it for my daughters to show them how not to be. Even though you'll never see this, it's worth sharing not all women think like you or believe men are inherently against women. They might even say they appreciate men. Can't fathom this? Maybe read a book outside your what kind of woman bubble. Sincerely, a man who believes his daughters can be both independent and polite. It's funny how men go ahead and have daughters, even though they can't fathom what daughters can be. That fucking bitch from Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to the House of Representatives. I walked back out, and there were reporters in the front of the Capitol, and in front of reporters, Representative Yoho called me, and I quote, a fucking bitch. These were the words that Representative Yoho levied against a congresswoman. The congresswoman that not only represents New York's 14th congressional district, but every congresswoman and every woman in this country. This is not new, and that is the problem. Mr. Yoho was not alone. He was walking shoulder to shoulder with Representative Roger Williams, and that's when we start to see that this issue is not about one incident. It is cultural. It is a culture of lack of impunity, of accepting